I was vibing. But what is up? What is up? Welcome back to the Bear Market Builders podcast. We're here with Scott. Nice to meet you, Scott. It's great to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, Kata.
It's crazy that this is my first ETH project. I was just thinking about it. Because you guys are on ETH, yeah?
Yeah, we're on Ethereum. We're founding partners with Immutable, but we're also we just recently partnered with Coinbase Base, and so we'll be bringing our chain. I mean, our game cross chain, but we can talk about that later.
Dope. Dope. But what's up, Scott? How are you? How are you doing on this fine Thursday?
I'm good, man. I just got back from the gym, took the dog for a walk, and now I'm here with you. It feels like 10 minutes ago it was 7 a.m. and now it's 8 p.m. So that's just how Web3 is.
I would disagree. I haven't felt that. It was a long day today. Sitting at the desk, throwing a ball off the ceiling while the teacher's taught. But that's whatever. But bro, you looking a little jacked. I'm gonna be honest. Let's get it out the way. You looking a little ripped. I'm gonna be honest. What is your gym routine looking like each day?
You haven't seen my fitness YouTube channel?
I haven't, but I looked in your bio and I saw it. Here, hold on. I'm going to YouTube real quick. Let's.
Yeah, man. I was one of the first people to make fitness content full time back in 2009. I have about 3 million subscribers, but almost a billion views across all my videos. I was the head trainer for Lionsgate for a while. I did all their movie integrations for like Expendables, Day After Tomorrow, Central Intelligence. And I did all those like, you know, 5 DVD workouts where you got the instructor in the front and the people in the back. That was me in the front, kicking everyone's butt.
Bro, man, that's crazy. How did it feel to be like one of the first fitness YouTubers to go full time?
You know, it felt a lot like what Web3 feels like now. So to back it up a little more, in 2008, I was on a reality TV show called The Real World on MTV.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know if you know of that show, but it was one of the most popular reality TV shows at the time. I was on season 21. I think it ended on season 35 or something like that. But basically, took 8 people, put them in a house together, and they filmed the shenanigans for about 3 months. And we were in New York, and a lot of us on the show were pursuing like modeling, acting, show hosting, dance, and singing, right?
mm-hmm.
And so that experience, after having a camera pretty much in my face 24/7 for 3 months, kind of broke the mold and got me thinking like, hey, maybe I can do something in video. And YouTube was just starting to get popular. But crazy enough, I had to move out of New York City because no gyms would let me film in the gym. I was getting
Ooh,
kicked out all the time. They're like, you can't film here, you can't film here, which is crazy to think because now it's expected, right?
yeah, yeah.
But nobody knew what I was doing. And so everyone said that it was dumb, it would never work, and that YouTube would never be anything. And why would I watch a fitness video on YouTube when I can just go buy a Men's Health magazine? I was like, well, I don't really have an answer for you, but I'm going to be super successful and do it anyway. So, screw you.
Dang, that's
that was
fire.
basically that was my mentality.
Bro, I think that's the mentality you have to have. That's like a lot of the mentality that people successful that we see have. There's a lot of
Yeah,
people that look down on you and say that something's not going to work.
that's how you become a trendsetter. I mean, look at Web3 gaming, right? Everyone's been saying it's not going to work. We don't like it. We don't want it. And now the sentiment's starting to shift as more good games are coming out that are really taking the time to develop their worlds and create quality content.
Yeah, for sure. So, how long ago did you start YouTube?
2009,
Dang, so
13 years ago.
you've been no, you've been making
Almost
content
around
since
the time you were
I was
born. I
gonna say
was
you've been making content since like I was born. That's wild. That's crazy.
Bro, I got push-up bars that are older than you.
No way. That's a flex. Okay. All right. All right. Cool. Man, that's crazy. It's cool to meet people that you know do stuff like this content wise because that's something like kids dream of today. But like you said, 14 years ago it was looked down upon. So it's super cool to see that you just went for it and you're successful now.
You have to go for it. I mean, it's not something that just happens all of a sudden. You need to have a track record of your entire life of just going for it, right? like always trying to do your own thing. And we were talking a little before the space started about, you know, the difference in opportunities to make a little extra cash on the side where, you know, you can trade JPEGs on your computer. My alternative was like mowing lawns and, you know, doing weird side jobs like that for extra cash. When I was in 8th grade going into 9th grade, so when I was your age, I started a DJ business and with my best friend, we actually DJ'd like freshman reception, sophomore semi, junior prom, and like all the birthday parties for the kids our age.
That's
It's
dope.
like always just trying to find ways to build a business and make money and be successful. That's something that you can't really learn. It's something that you gotta want, you
Yeah.
know, on the inside.
Do you think it's a good thing that kids have so much power at their fingertips now?
It's good if they have if they have parental guidance or they have some kind of mentor to guide them,
Yeah.
is what I would say. So like for example, there's a couple kids kids, they're in high school, they go to my gym and they're really big on TikTok, like millions of followers,
Mhm.
right? And as someone who has been doing social media for so long, when we have conversations, I'm like, listen, what are you gonna do when this dries up? Because it will,
Mhm.
right? Like you're gonna be super popular and you might stay relevant, but what are you doing now to take advantage of that massive audience that you have? Are you collecting emails? Do you have a website? What are you offering to retain those viewers?
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, you know, it's nothing because no one's ever had that conversation with them. And also when you're a content creator, you're just so worried about the next viral video that it consumes your life and you just become a slave to creating content. So I think that for this younger generation, so I have a daughter who's 24, you know, and even for her, like she does great with her social media. Her and my wife have a jewelry business they make content for, but she knows when to take a step back, take a deep breath, and then reevaluate to make sure that not only is her social media growing, like her likes and followers, but also that it's leading back to a business which can potentially pay bills in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of people that are more consumers than producers, and I think that's what you have to be when you try to make money. You got to be more of a producer rather than consumer. And most of these kids are locked in on that all the scrolling on TikTok all day every day. I don't know. I just don't get it.
5 hours will go by like this, you know,
Real
and all of a
quick.
sudden you got nothing done and you just consumed a lot of content. But that's what these apps are designed to do. They're designed to distract you and keep you
Mhm.
on the phone longer and longer and longer.
Cuz they make money. They
Hmm.
make money. Um so yeah, it's crazy. You were talking about those kids that, have to like collect emails, stuff like that, while they're relevant. What did you do while you were relevant to, kind of keep your success going?
Yeah, no, so great question. So I was always expanding my brand. Like I said, once I was actually the first fitness quote unquote influencer. I hate using that term because it makes you sound like a fucking idiot. Because I actually have, you know, a background in degrees in fitness and training. You know, I actually went and got educated to the point to where back when I first started, people would leave comments like, "What are your degrees? What education do you have?" And now no one gives a shit, right?
Yeah.
Totally different world. But I had a website. It was originally Scott Herman Fitness. Now it's muscularstrength.com. It's a membership website. It's like $10 a month. All my video content is there. Every video has, you know, photos, write-ups, meal plans, all that stuff. Workout programs. There's like 10 different workout programs there, depending on what your goal is. And so what I was always doing was saying, hey, you know, here's all my free content on YouTube. If you want a structured program, go to my website, and plus $10 a month is nothing. And I'm
Yeah.
always adding content to the website as well. So that was one thing I did. What I was saying before, I was the first influencer, again, quote unquote, to get a supplement sponsorship just for making content.
Mm.
It's like that category of getting sponsored because you make content did not exist when I did it. To the point to where it was with BSN, and I was actually with them for about 13 years. I just recently switched to EHP Labs. We can talk about that later. But the brand manager, his name was Brandon. His exact words to me when I reached out to him with my YouTube channel, he's like, "I don't know what this is or what you have, but I know like there's something here. So we're gonna bring you on the team and see what happens." And then the rest is history. So I was always trying to expand my brand, and everything is a stepping stone,
Mhm.
right? So like I used being on a reality TV show and all that popularity to start my YouTube channel, and then as that continued to grow, I became the head trainer for Lionsgate. I did workout programs for bodybuilding.com. I did articles for all the magazines, but it was never like, oh, okay, I did that, now I'm done, I'm just going to sit here and make content. It's always a question of what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next. I
Yeah.
mean, and that's why I'm here in Web3, because I was asking myself 3 years ago, okay, what's next? Because I've pretty much done everything I can in the fitness space, and I want to make a change.
Yeah, for sure. Are there still a lot of people? If you don't want to answer this, it's fine. But are there still a lot of people that are paying that $10 a month for your programs?
Oh, yeah, 100%. In fact, that's why I was able to make the jump to Web3 gaming, because I had secured residual income that paid my bills whether I was making content or not.
Yeah.
And because my content is all over the world, if I do nothing, I'll still get 2 to 3 million views every month across my channel, because my videos are embedded in websites and apps all over the world, because I focused on education. People are always needing to go to the gym and knowing what to do.
Mm-hmm.
They don't necessarily need to go to the gym and then watch, some idiot do something stupid for laughs. Like, if
Yeah.
you're trying to get results, you want the education, right?
Yeah. So did you ever start into the like short form content like TikTok and stuff like that?
Yeah, I have videos with like I don't know, hundreds of millions, but like 60 to 80 million views on some of my shorts. Obviously the funnier ones, right? So that's the thing. Education is always king, but how do you get people to check out your educational content? You start doing trends, right?
Yeah.
And you try to get creative with some of the things that you're doing. People start to like you, and then they'll discover your other content. So, yeah, man. I mean, as soon as shorts came out, I was all over it. Honestly, it's a lot easier for me to make a short than it is a 5 to 10 minute video in terms of editing.
For sure.
Because with a short, people are expecting like short and to the point, which is my style.
Yeah,
In
for
fact,
sure.
my original videos were always 2 minutes long. Like,
Yeah,
here's
that's
how
what I
you
just
do a
looked at.
bicep curl. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of funny how things are cyclical, right? Because YouTube went through this phase where people wanted short content, and then they wanted long content, and then they wanted everything to be science based, and then they just wanted funny shit, and then they wanted like a little bit of funny, like it's always changing.
Yeah. Always. And that's one of the hard parts about being in content is you always have to be, you know, knowing what's next, and you always gotta, like you said, follow those trends. Because it's always changing. Did you ever get burned out?
All the time, all the time.
How did you deal with that?
Um, I mean, you got to have a strong support system behind you. I have my family, I have my wife, I have my daughter. But I mean, creator burnout happens all the time. Like, you'll go through bouts of depression for no reason, right? Like, all of a sudden, TikTok changes the algorithm, and you're going from getting, let's say, 50,000 views a video to like 3,000, and you always think it's your fault.
Hmm.
And that's one of the things about being a content creator that's not talked about a lot. And it makes sense too, because growing up, I always wondered why actors were so depressed all the time. I'm like, you're rich and famous. Why are you so depressed? Because they literally go through what a lot of creators go through now, which is like creator burnout. Like, imagine filming a movie for 10 months and then it hits movie theaters and everyone's like, this movie sucks.
Yeah, it just
Like,
flops. Yeah.
how would you feel, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times with creators, when their videos aren't getting as many views or people leave nasty comments, like that's whether even if to not let it bother you, it still does. So you have to have other hobbies outside of the content creation, or else you'll get burnt out and stay burnt out. So like, I like to go to the gym, I like to work on my car, I like to go outside for runs, I like to do like shit around the house, build things, tinker with things. Like, you
Hmm.
have to have this separation. Even video games, right? Like, you can play COD or Fortnite for a few hours and just really disconnect if you have a good squad and you're focused on the game.
Yeah, for sure. And you were talking about support systems. Did your support systems ever question you? Like your family, did they ever like, oh, Scott, this might not be the best thing to do. YouTube might not work. You know what I mean? Did they ever question you?
You know, it's funny because in my family, I have four brothers and two sisters.
Mm.
I was the first one to go to college, and honestly, the first person to really kind of just like go off on his own. And my parents never always fully understood what I was doing, but they had seen me my whole life. Like I had my DJ business, I got my real estate license. I was always just starting businesses and working them and being successful and using those to propel myself forward even more, right? So they have a lot of faith in me. And of course, you know, they would ask like, are you okay? Are you making money? Are you paying your bills? But I think that I always just give off such a vote of confidence in what I'm doing that they know I'm going to be okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I
That's
mean, even now, you know, switching from fitness to Web3 gaming, I mean, that's a jump, right?
yeah,
Like literally, I went from making content all the time to barely any to do this and build this. And even my wife was like, you know, you sure? I was like, yep, I'm going to do it. Let's go. That's just the way I've always been. I've always
yeah,
been a dreamer.
for sure. And yeah, that's always the best. Always a visionary. Always
You
a
have
visionary.
to. Well, dude, there's I don't know how many more like big things are going to happen for people to really take advantage of and make generational wealth and leave a legacy. I got really lucky doing that in fitness. You know, some kid from, you know, a small town outside of Boston, right? And to do something in gaming, which by the way, like gaming isn't a random thing for me. Yeah, I've been just as much into gaming and collecting and anime and, you know, collecting cards and statues and figurines and all of that as I was with fitness. It's just fitness paid the bills, right?
Yeah,
So that was always in the front. But when I saw an opportunity to do something big in gaming, I jumped on it because it's so much more fun. It's
yeah,
so much more fun, so much more shit talking, so much more creativity. Like you can't be creative with fitness education. Like there's only proper form, right? You can get creative with
yeah,
workouts and things, but like I get to build worlds
yeah,
in gaming.
yeah. It's a total. There's two different levels right there. Yeah, for sure. Man, what was your first game like that you ever played?
The first game I can really remember playing is Mario for NES. And I'm not talking like the handhelds. I mean like actual console is Mario. But my favorite game quickly became Zelda. And even to today, my favorite game of all time is the Zelda franchise.
Yeah. Um, Man, what was my first game? Like Black Ops 2, COD. Would always snipe with my brother. That's how I got into gaming. My brother got me into gaming hard. So,
That's what brothers are for. So you want to hear a funny story? My younger brothers are like 10 years younger than me.
mhm.
And so they were lucky because I was in college when they were like 12, you know, 11. And so they always had the latest Nintendo 64 or Xbox, right? Or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck came out at the time. So I remember I would make them battle on the original Super Smash Bros. I would tell them to battle themselves against a team of 3 Star Foxes level 9 to get really good. And then I would have them do Halo snipers only, and I told them they weren't allowed to zoom in, right? So they had to just get a headshot. Dude, like I created 3 monsters after a while 'cause I would come home to play them, and it's like they started whooping my ass, and I had to actually train harder. But that's what brothers are for.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we still game like not every night together, but he streams too now, and it's just like, or actually he streamed for a while, but he just got back to streaming. We just been playing games. And I'm starting to get better than him at a lot of games, so it feels good. Taking over the family. So
That's good, man.
yeah,
Show him who the boss is.
yeah, he's
My
has to
younger
hand it.
brother Patrick got to the point to where we would play COD, and he would get a Moab every game. Every game,
That's
Moab, every
insane.
game. And he would play like he was half asleep watching a TV show. He's just like, you know,
uh,
like
Man, what games do you like now? Are there any like big games that you like, like just sitting down playing?
So I keep my Nintendo Switch by my bed, and I'll play Tears of the Kingdom on that, which I'm still working through. I don't like to look things up on YouTube. I like to just like figure it out and get frustrated and then figure it out. Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I'll be playing like a horror game and I'm like, shoot, where do I even go? And I'm like, a quick YouTube video, and I skip to the part that I need, and then I'll go from there.
But then when the game is over, it's gone forever. Like that experience was stolen from you.
But I beat the game. That's kind of how I look at it. I beat the game.
Yeah, no, I mean for me it was like, we had Nintendo 64 growing up was like there was no place to go figure out like 007 trying to figure out the fastest path to complete all the time trials was literally hours and hours and hours of just figure it the fuck out yourself, right? And I have fond memories of that with my brother. Like I would try, then he would try, then I would try, then he would try until we beat them all, right?
Yeah.
Or San Francisco Rush, trying to find the keys, racing around the cars. But yeah, games I play now, I play COD with the boys almost every night, 3-4 nights a week for a couple hours, which is fun until
It's not.
Warzone decides to let all the cheating patches go through and you're getting blasted through walls. Of
I
course,
love Warzone.
I play my game, WAGMI Defense. I have like an army of streamers, like 40 content creators that are streaming and playing throughout the day, as well as our own community. So I try to jump in and troll, especially when they're streaming. I'll stream snipe them, and then I'll battle against them while they're live, and I'll beat them, and then I'll talk shit in the comment section, like you just got wrecked. But it's all in good fun. But and I've literally wall mounted my PS5 to play God of War, and I haven't touched it since I wall mounted it about a year ago. I've been so busy.
Oh, wall mount is crazy for a PS5. That's wild.
I got my PS5 wall mounted, then above that is my Xbox wall mounted. Told you I like to do things around the house. I mean, you see my room behind me. From here up is all Funko Pops that are on a shelf I did that goes all the way around my room.
Yeah, your setup kind of reminds me of what's his name? Moist Criticals. Charlie. It's kind of who. Yeah, it's kind of who your setup or what your setup looks like to me. It's dope though. I love it.
Collecting is a big part of gaming, which is why, at WAGMI Defense and WAGMI Games, we focus so much on the lore because we have characters that we want people to really relate to. In fact, we just did a mint of 1,000 human emperor statues, and people are going crazy for these. They're even numbered on the side. This one's 0 of 1,000 because it's a prototype. And then the QR code on the bottom actually links to the NFT. I'll send you one of the NFTs actually after the podcast too.
Hey yo, for real?
Yeah, man.
Let's go. Thank you.
But I mean, we did our first comic book 2 years ago in collaboration with GameStop, and then everybody who has that comic book, every month they get an airdrop of 5 comic edition cards in the game. So like we have the base cards, we have founders packs, and then we have these comic editions. It's still the same character like when you play the game, obviously, but the NFT is the comic variant, which is obviously a bit more rare, a bit more cool. And what's cool is that is a community ran collection because you have to own the comic to get the airdrop.
Yeah.
Right? And then we have our second comic book that's coming out probably end of this month. Did you watch the anime trailer that we did?
I did not.
What?
Okay, man. Actually, I think wait. No, maybe did I? I saw you make a tweet about it a couple days ago.
Yeah, dude, we broke the internet last week. Come on, where you been?
Dang. I'm gonna be honest. I've been locked in on Q4 of school. I'm gonna be honest.
I believe it.
I'm gonna be honest. I've been slacking. Now I got to make an academic comeback. But
go.
But
hey man, it's never too late.
Let's take a gander at this. May 1st.
Go to WAGMI Game Co. on Twitter, and it's pinned to the top.
Hold on.
Watch that real quick.
I'm gonna change screens real quick so we can all watch this together.
I knew it would never be the same. We all knew.
Yeah. What?
When all hope is lost, when nothing is left. They took it all. They took my heart, my soul, my family, my land, my people. They enslaved, they breached, they stole. They think they can stomp the grounds of those below them. But I will fight. I fight for us. Not to win, not for blood, not for glory, but I fight for survival. We are the light that silences the shadows. We are the shield for those alone. This is our land. This is our home. This is our time. This is our war. This is our story. And there's no amount of sacrifice I wouldn't make. For justice.
Is that the Justice League? No way.
It's the WAGMI defense, bro.
Bro, that is not a Web3 game trailer right there, bro. That is totally different. That's more than a Web3 game trailer right there.
Thank you. So it's the same studio that made our anime trailer. Does He-Man on Netflix, Castlevania, Sesmanos, Blood of Zeus. Really, really big name studio. They're called Powerhouse Animation.
Bro, that is so sick. What? No, bro. It's just so crazy that gaming is starting to get there now too. Like, you're starting to see a lot better, quote unquote, better games. Like Nigh on Heroes is one game that comes to mind that a lot of people are like, oh, this is better than a Web3 game. And I think WAGMI is obviously like that. Like, bro, that's wild. That's crazy, actually.
Well, it's, we literally started building as soon as the bear market hit 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. And some interesting facts for you and your listeners: we are not VC backed. We raised all the money on our own, through token, through NFT sales, right? And because of that, in hindsight, right? Like at the time, it was not fun not raising money, but it was the bear market and it just didn't happen. So we just worked harder to make it happen. Now we own all the equity of the company, all of the tokens. Well, 86, 87% are in circulation. There's no VC dumps. There's no vested tokens. So the WAGMI Games token is a 100% utility token in the game. A lot of these other games, they only have like 5, 10, 15% of their supply in the market. So that value is going to be dictated by when other tokens get dumped, right?
Yeah.
For us, it functions as a utility token in the game because it's already out in circulation.
For sure, bro. That's a big thing that you guys own, like every part of the company. Like there's no one that's like holding you hostage basically to do X amount or this, and this. Like that's big. That's big. How much money did you guys raise?
Close to 7 million.
Nice. That's a good amount too. Especially for no VC. What?
Well, a lot of times when you have to have runway, right, in order to complete a game, and then also have money set aside for marketing. And we're doing just fine. In fact, we're doing better than fine. That's why, like, right now we have 40 creators making content for us on a daily basis, getting the word out there. We have new members signing up every single day for the beta. And the game is in closed beta right now. If you want to play, you have to either pre-register on our website or shoot me a DM on Twitter, and we just add your email. The reason why it's it's closed is because we just don't want anybody off the street finding the game and downloading it and not understanding it's a beta.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because first impressions is everything. So everybody that's in the game now understands, like, oh, this is beta, it's gonna change. In fact, we're globally launching our game in summer, and the new user interface, there's not one speck of code from the current beta that's in the new user interface. All the characters have been redone in AAA quality, high poly graphics. All the screens have been upgraded. All the other features will be added to the game. So, like, right now, people are having so much fun, and all you can really do is PvP. A battle is 3 minutes long. It's a tower defense type RTS game where I think Clash Royale, okay,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of gameplay.
When I saw
So
64 playing it, that's exactly what it reminded me of was Clash.
yeah, that's who I was trolling the other day. I was trolling 64.
I love
He's actually from
64.
the same hometown as me, which is pretty
Oh,
crazy.
for real? He's a homie, bro.
Yeah,
I love 64.
yeah, 64 is great. But yeah, dude, the new user interface is like people are gonna think they've just downloaded a whole new game when that comes out. Like, and that's what we're trying to do. Like, we like when we said we were doing this anime 6 months ago, people were like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And then when we finally released it last week, their reaction was the same as yours. Like, "Holy shit,
Yeah.
you guys are actually doing an anime." We're like, "Yes, that's what we said 6 months ago. We're doing an anime." We don't hold back at WAGMI Games, and we're not a hype company either. It's so easy in Web3 to try to just live on hype. We don't really push anything forward to the masses until it's done or close to done. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll tease a few things. Like right now, our second comic book is being completed by our friends over at Adult Fantasy NFT. These guys are legends. They worked as creators at Marvel. They worked at Cartoon Network. They worked at Nickelodeon, Kid Robot, all these big studios. And we've been showing some panels of the new comic that these guys have been doing because we're close to it being done. Right, it's a
Hmm.
few weeks away from being done. So when you're doing a company, especially in Web3, what you saw a lot, especially in Web3 gaming during the bear market, was they would just push all this hype out around a TGE token generation event, and then you'd see the pump and the dump, and then you wouldn't hear anything for like ever, if anything.
Mm.
So we actually did the opposite. We stayed quiet, for the first year and a half. We obviously have our community. We've been doing a WAGMI Wednesday Twitter space every Wednesday for the last 3 years straight. We've never missed one.
That's dope.
And so our community has grown steadily over the course of the last few years, and now it's exploding from the help of guys like 64 World and our
Mm.
other creators just having fun playing the game. Like, we don't tell them what to do or say. They just boot up and have fun, and they all go on each other's streams. And what's great is as soon as you hit battle, it randomly finds somebody.
Hmm.
So what you do is, if you're watching somebody stream, as soon as they click battle, you click battle, and you have a really good chance of sniping them, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
battling them live. Yeah, it's fun.
For sure. That builds a community too, which is dope. You know, from
And
different.
founders need to play their own game too, man.
Ooh, that's a big topic right there. That's a topic. So you think that founders should play their own games?
Yeah, because I do. I play WAGMI Defense all the time. I join the streams because you know why? Because I play WAGMI Defense every day. I understand. Well, also because I'm a creator too. I understand the needs of my creators. So I'll reach out to my creators. We have Telegram groups for all of them. I'm like, hey, here's some Nefi to upgrade your cards. Here's some Medallium to do some pack openings.
Yeah.
Here's some NFTs to give away on your next stream. And I'll even create all the assets too. Like, hey, here's an image that you can post on Twitter because you're doing a giveaway. Before they even ask for it, I'm in the DMs giving it to them because I understand not only the gameplay, but their needs as creators. Because as a creator, you just want to be doing your job, which is having fun playing a game and getting people hyped up.
Yeah,
You shouldn't have to worry about the prizes and asking for those things.
for sure.
And also, all my creators know if they want to do something in the game and they need more of the in-game resources, because it does cost money to buy like in-game resources if you want to.
Mhm.
We're a free-to-play game. You don't have to spend any money, but just like every mobile game, there's microtransactions if you want to speed things up or buy
Yeah.
more. So like, hey, I want to make a video opening up WAGMI troop packs and war packs. I'm like, great, here's what you need for a Dallium to make your video. Why wouldn't you do that as a game?
Hmm.
It's so funny to me that games almost try to put this barrier between themselves and their community once they hit a certain point. And then you get shit like Call of Duty, where literally they get screamed at by the entire fan base of how broken shit is and how unfair stuff is, and they do nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and I think we've seen that steady decline on COD. Bringing
Oh,
up
yeah.
COD, like BO2, that was pretty high. That was like they were actually listening, and then down, and then we're here. We're here now.
Did you see what happened when Helldivers 2 recently?
Yes, that was bad.
Dude, did you like literally the chart of how many people stopped playing? It was a straight line down. And that could have been easily rectified if they actually listened to their community.
Yeah, I don't know.
For those of you who don't know and you're listening, there was like some tiny little words in the agreement when you downloaded the game on Steam that you would eventually have to make a PSN account. And PC players are like, no, we're not doing that. We want to play on PC. We don't want to deal with Sony's bullshit. And now they can't play the game that they've been playing for 3 months, and they can't get a refund because they've been playing for 3 months. And so they just said, screw it, we're not playing anymore.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Gamers, like gaming culture, what I always loved about gaming is all of my friends growing up, middle school, high school, college, like they weren't all like into the same shit I was in like terms of like fitness or working on cars. But we always bonded over games. We always bonded over comics. Like those are my friends that I have to this day that are my best friends. And I probably have still like around 8 to 10 that I grew up with that I chat with all the time. It was around gaming that built and formed those relationships.
Yeah, I think gaming brings people so close together. Like one working as a team and just playing together. Like you guys can fight one time and then you guys can be like best friends the next time, and that just builds a really close bond. Like some of my best friends are online playing video games, so it's dope.
Dude, I played a duos once on Resurgence, and the kid had his like music on, and I was just like swearing at him. He was swearing at me, like screaming at each other, like the whole. I'm like, you turn off your fucking music. He's like, fuck you, whatever. And then we win first place, and we're in the lobby, and I'm like, so you want to run it back? He's like, yeah. Because it gets to that's what gaming is. That's what gaming culture is. It's like, I might tell you I hate you while we're playing, but like we're still playing together because we are having fun playing. Like, yeah, it's a different world. And for those of you that are gamers that are listening, you understand exactly what I'm talking about.
Bro, I trash talk every teammate. I trash talk every teammate I have. And that's how I know if they're a good teammate, is if they, lock back in and they still play. Because if they just shut down, then I'm not a good teammate.
I whooped my friend's ass so hard in Super Smash Bros. Once, he walked home. And I was like,
no way.
Did he walk? It was high school. He walked home. I was like, bro, really? You're gonna walk home because you lost in Super Smash? I don't really talk to him anymore, actually, after high school.
No, that's crazy. Walking home, no, that's how you know you like lost.
Dude, I play as Link. He's my favorite character, and I must have boomeranged his ass so many times, like he couldn't even touch me, and then he just like literally put down his controller and he walked home.
That's crazy. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah, it was funny,
bro. Yeah, gaming is amazing. Gaming is something that you can do whether you're happy, sad, angry, whatever day, whatever kind of day you're having. Gaming's always there.
It is. It's always there for you.
It is.
And WAGMI Defense is always there for you.
That's what I was gonna go into. Oh man, those WAGMI games after launch in summer, where is WAGMI gonna go? What is the next thing for WAGMI?
So I mean, once we launch the game, now it's just a matter of rolling out the full game, right? So we have a whole marketing plan in place where we're going to be going to different regions. We're going to try to, be global. That's why it's called the global launch. And like the game is going to continuously evolve. So right now there's just PvP and evolving and leveling up your cards. We're going to be doing live ops. We're going to heavily focus on partnerships. We're going to be integrating the story into the game. So like the comics and the anime, right? It's basically everything we have now. The plan is to just continue to grow the IP, because WAGMI Games is the studio. WAGMI Defense is our first game, and we want to have more games that come out. In fact, we're already starting to put together the ideas for our second game, which I can't talk about, which will take a few years to build, right? But already weaving in like interoperability, being able to use your assets from game 1 and game 2, right? And keeping all of that in mind. So the goal essentially is once we globally launch, we want to introduce clans, we want to do tournaments, right? We want to do collaborations with other brands where, you know, maybe we do like special skins for the characters. You know how when you play mobile games and you're battling someone, you can tap emotes to like troll.
Yep.
So like, you know, we'll do a lot of fun stuff like that. With our creators, we actually are going to be able to give all of our creators a link so that when they're doing their streams or their posts, they can say, hey, click my link to download the game. Of course, they'll get credit. Whatever people spend in game, they'll get a kickback. But we can also do like variants of our characters for the NFT art. And our NFT art is seasonal. So right now we're in preseason. Our first season was beta, and then the next season when we globally launch is going to be season 1. Now it's the same cards every season. It's just that obviously a beta card is much cooler to have on your team. It's a flex, right? Than a season 1 or a season 2. So what we're doing with our creators is for some of them, we're letting them choose a character, and then we brand the NFT where it says like Creator Edition. And then once that season's over, they can pick another character for the next season. So their community, when they click their link, they're not just downloading the game, they're getting the 64 World Creator Edition, Alien Emperor, right?
I would burn it.
Just burn it right in front of him.
Yep.
Dude, 64 World, I felt so bad. He burned. He scrapped his legendary Human Emperor Founders Edition card. It's like a $400 card. And he wasn't paying attention, and he scrapped it. And I was like, bro, why did you do that?
64.
Don't do things in crypto late at night.
Oh, yeah, that's a bad idea.
Alert. Do you know how many people have DM'd me, like, that are, like, experts in crypto? Like, oh, dude, I got hacked. I clicked this link. It was 1 in the morning. I'm like, it's always a scam.
Yep.
Like, my MetaMask was compromised. No, it's not. It's not. In fact, it's fine.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. Man. So is WAGMI Games Studio a mobile game studio, or do you guys want to go into like PC gaming and stuff like that?
Our second game is going to be PC. It's going to be, I can say, it's going to be an RTS, real-time strategy. So we actually have as our advisor, his name is Ed Del Castillo. He's one of the visionaries behind Command and Conquer. Liquid Entertainment was his company. He was the CEO. So he's going to be heavily involved in that. And then actually our other advisor, who's been with us for a while, is Alex Seropian, creator of Halo and Bungie. So we have a lot of really good advisors on our team. And then actually our core team, originally, it was just a bunch of us, coming from like different sectors in the business world, right? But March of last year, we brought on Brent Pease, who was a general manager at EA. We brought on Esteban Gil, who was the in-game economy producer for Apex Legends and Garana Free Fire. And the list goes on. We hired like 5 or 6 guys from EA that were looking for work because last year a lot of people got let go because the gaming industry is kind of fluctuating. So we have a lot of people that know how to deliver these types of games. A lot of times what you see in Web3 is like, oh, the game is playable here. And then people kind of get confused or they get upset, which is why I said earlier, we're not just open for anyone to download. They got to reach out to us to understand, hey, this is beta. This is what you should expect when you're playing our game. Yeah. So rolling out a launch, you have to be very careful because you really only do get one chance to make a good impression, especially with gamers.
Yeah. If a gamer does not like your game first time, they're not coming back.
I mean, dude, if your tutorial doesn't have a skip button, they'll delete the app off the phone.
That's me every day.
Bro.
And
that's in the very beginning. That was me. I was like, hey, because we have a tutorial right now, and before I was like, as soon as I watch it, I'm like, hey, the tutorial looks good. Where's the skip button?
Yeah.
I don't want to watch this fucking tutorial.
Nope. Never. Man, I hate tutorials.
Yeah. And then, when you can't figure out what to do, you go YouTube it, right? So.
Yep. Man. But the team sounds
But
like
if you're
it's
a gamer, how do you know these things?
true,
Right?
true.
How do you tap into that?
And that's going back to the founders should play their own games. There you go. That's something that gamers only know.
Mm-hmm.
Man. But
Hey,
it
man.
sounds like the team is the Avengers pretty much. That's what I'm getting from that. It's like Thanos with the Infinity Stones. That's what WAGMI Game Studio sounds like.
Yeah, I
'Cause-
appreciate that.
Of course, of course. I saw that WAGMI Games has a token. What does that token do?
Yeah, so it's WAGMI Games. Make sure if you guys are looking for token contracts, you go to our website, wagmigame.io, or go to our Twitter page, and all the links are there. Because you guys know there's always tokens trying to imitate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you find the right one, and if you're still unsure, reach out. But it's a 100% utility token in the game. So you can use the WAGMI Games token to purchase the in-game soft currency, to purchase NFT packs. There is governance attached to it, but a lot of games lean on governance as like this amazing thing. It's cool, but the token needs to have utility in the game. And one of the biggest utilities that we have is going to be wagering. You will only be able to do battle wagering with the WAGMI Games token. So imagine, you're playing WAGMI Defense and you got like $20 in tokens and you start doing $5 matches, right? Maybe you win, maybe you get your ass beat. Who knows? But it's exciting, isn't it?
It is. It's very exciting. I love wagering, especially my friends. It's the best.
Yeah, and also to enter tournaments, you'll have to have the WAGMI Games token. So, and we're always adding more utility as the game continues to expand.
No, and probably as you guys build more games too, like just the
Yep,
utility will go up and up and up.
Yep, the WAGMI Games token is going to be like the centerpiece for all of our future games as well.
That is super dope. Man. But also on the website, I saw that WAGMI has merch. Merch. I love merch, bro. Web3 merch is my favorite. So, do you have any
We'll have to get you a WAGMI Games hat so you can wear in your streams.
I will always wear it. I'll wear it to school. I'll shill WAGMI. Actually, I'm probably going to shill it
Dude,
tomorrow.
I'll send you a care package.
Please. I'll wear it. I swear on everything I would wear it to school. But actually, they're probably going to talk to me about WAGMI because a lot of them listen back to this podcast, which is dope. So we'll be showing it tomorrow at school. So that's super dope.
What I like to hear.
Of course.
Just bring a Sharpie with you and just draw W's on people's forehead.
Bro, I'm down. Oh, man. Just give little sticky notes out, stick it right on the chest. Little WAGMI W. That's dope.
Man.
That would be super dope.
Some guerrilla marketing.
But why did WAGMI start on ETH?
Actually, originally we were on both Ethereum and BNB, and then we didn't have a solution for gasless minting of NFTs. It's like you can't have a game if it costs money to mint the NFTs. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Especially a game like ours where, most of the cards, the commons, people are buying and trading and selling them on the secondary market for like 10 cents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now some of the rarer cards have sold close to $4,500. Like our beta, as soon as we went from beta to preseason, beta cards are selling between $50 and like $5,000, depending on what rarity it is. It's insane. But once we partnered with Immutable and we were able to use their gasless minting solution, we got rid of the BNB chain. We launched a V2 of the token, and Immutable is built on Ethereum as a layer 2. So that's why we're on Ethereum, right? And that's why we've been on Ethereum. But as I told you earlier, we are partnered with Base on Coinbase. So we can take our game to any chain. And we've actually already built out the back end bridging so that if you're on Base and I'm on Immutable and your friend's on Solana, we can all battle each other and still trade cards.
That's dope.
That's the future of Web3 gaming. Everyone talks mass adoption in Web2. They keep forgetting that you first need mass adoption in Web3, which is being cross-chain.
Mm-hmm.
And also being able to be cross-chain without having to jump through hoops to make it happen.
For sure. Do you think cross-chain will be the next big like gaming Web3 gaming thing, or do you think there's a specific chain that is best for gaming? Because I know Avalanche has been a big one recently. Solana is a big one too, and maybe Polygon. Polygon used to be a big one, but not as much anymore.
Here's the thing, right? There's only a handful of gamers in all of Web3 compared to the masses, right? Am I going to convince someone? Let's say Avalanche is the best chain, right? But there's still a shitload of gamers on Solana. How do I convince Solana players to come to Avalanche to play my game?
For sure.
They're not going to want to. A lot of crypto people are loyal to the chain that they first found.
Bro, they're ride or dies, yeah.
Correct. So our approach at WAGMI Games is, and also like when I talk to other chains, like Solana, for example, they're really great. Been chatting with them for a while. And they're going to be one of the chains we launch on too. You know, they're like, oh, are you guys looking for a grant? Are you like, what? You know, I'm like, no, we don't want your money. We don't want anything from you. We just want to put our game on your blockchain and allow your players to connect their Solana wallets and play the game.
Yeah.
Like, we're not trying to poach your players to come to Immutable. We want to be cross-chain so everyone can play together. Now, that sounds like a plan that's going to unite and bring mass adoption to Web3 gaming.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, there's only so many people. So how do you get all those people in Web3 excited about a game? You let them keep the wallet they like to use and still play your game.
For sure. Yeah. It's hard to get Web3 people to go to a different chain and try something new, because if they're making money on one chain, they're probably not going to go to the next one. So it's kind of hard.
Plus, also to play our game too, you literally log in with your email. Like, you don't have to download a wallet. You don't have to do any of that stuff.
Is there an in-game wallet?
Yeah, so the in-game wallet is the Immutable Passport.
Mm.
So what would end up happening is you would log in and you would get into the game. You would automatically get a Passport wallet. And then if you're Web3 savvy, you go in the settings and you change it to whatever chain you're on.
Yeah, for sure.
So we can onboard Web2, no problem. They're going to log into WAGMI Defense the same way they log into every other game on their phone.
Yeah, and they won't even have to worry about, how do I make a wallet?
Correct.
So that's super dope.
All connected to your email.
Super dope. I just want to point out that our boom arms look like they're connected. I just realized that looking into the camera.
That's awesome.
But first of all, these hoodies are dope, especially these anime ones, bro. What? These are super sick.
Yeah, we wore those. I don't know if you saw it. There was a reality TV show called The Next Crypto Gem, and we actually went on it last year, and we dominated the show. But we ended up getting second place because even though we won every other challenge, the final challenge was we had to pitch our game Shark Tank style to some judges, and one of them happened to be BitBoy, and we thought it would be more fun to call him a scammer.
No, hey, you guys win then. You guys win. I'm gonna be honest.
You were the people's champ. I'll send you that clip. I have it saved. It's funny as hell.
Please do. That's the People's Choice Awards right there. Oh man, that's funny. He is such a scammer though.
He was like, because the producers told him that one of the teams was talking smack about him, even though every team was. And he's like, heard you guys were talking smack. You gonna own up to it? We're like, yeah, sure. You charge $75K a video.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't do that anymore. Yeah, but you still did it.
Yeah. Nah, anymore it's wild. Anymore is crazy.
I don't do it anymore. I only scam people for a while. I don't do it anymore. Oh, okay, because that makes it good now. It makes it okay now.
No, that's crazy. Oh man. So I'm looking at these physical claims. Oh, that's the comic book, yeah?
Yeah, so our comic book is on OpenSea. It's called Nephi Wars. And part of the utility was when you bought the comic, you actually got a physical sent to you in the mail. And then the second utility was the comic edition cards that get airdropped once a month.
Nice. Did you also say that you guys partnered with GameStop?
For the launch of the comic book, yeah. But that was before their marketplace kind of fell apart.
Rip GameStop, bro.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying, but yeah, we partnered with them on their marketplace, but then after their marketplace kind of started falling apart, we actually moved the collection to OpenSea. Just made life a lot easier for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, man. But while we wind down this pod, I like to ask people a couple questions that I ask everyone. Who's someone that inspires you?
Someone that inspires me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I was a kid, I mean, like I feel like everybody says their parents, right?
Yeah.
And that's a given. Like,
Yeah.
my parents inspired the shit out of me growing up.
Of course.
When I look outside of that, because I always want to make sure I give respect where it's due, and to my parents, I wouldn't be here or be the person I am if it wasn't for them.
Of course.
Growing up, I was very introverted, and I looked up to my superheroes like Superman, Captain America, and Wolverine were my favorites when I was a kid. In fact, I got into fitness because I thought if I got big and buff like my superheroes, this is like second grade, mentality.
Mm-hmm.
I could just beat the crap out of the kids that picked on me and my friends.
I mean,
So like a lot of people ask like, "Oh, how did you get into gaming if you're into fitness?" And I'm like, "Well, I got into fitness because I was into gaming and comics, and I wanted to look like the heroes that I had on my wall and the cards that I collected."
yeah.
And I mean, if you watch a lot of like anime and a lot of superhero cartoons, growing up in the '90s and 2000s, and even in the '80s, like He-Man, GI Joe, like a lot of those shows were always about like doing the right thing, being strong, protecting others, and learning life lessons. So I drew a lot of inspiration from that growing up, right?
For sure.
To keep me on the straight and narrow, and to keep me, basically always tell myself I can overcome anything, right? And then when I started working in a gym when I was 14 years old, and the guy that I worked for like 3 hours on a Saturday cleaning machines for a free membership, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then as I got older, I actually got a job, and then I actually worked for this guy. His name is Dave for about 10 years. I built 3 different clubs in the New England area with him. I was general manager of a few of them. But, he put a lot of trust and confidence in me, even at 15 years old. Like at 15, I was running the front desk, making shakes, signing people up, taking their credit card information. Like he'd be like, "Hey, I'll be back in 10 minutes on a Saturday," and he'd come back 4 hours later, and I had signed up like 10 people and done all this stuff, handled money and everything.
Yeah.
That when you give a kid that kind of responsibility, that really inspires you to do big things with your life.
Yeah.
And what you might not know, because if you haven't worked at a gym, how would you? When you work at a gym and you get to know all the members, what kind of people go to a gym during the day besides unemployed, obviously?
Yep.
People who own their own businesses, right? People who are successful, have the luxury of going to the gym whenever they want. And so a lot of my life, I was always getting constant encouragement from the members that literally watched me grow up from 14 to 24, right?
Yeah.
And I always had just like this wealth of knowledge and advice to tap into because I worked at a club.
Yeah, that's dope. Using your resources, that's a big thing. You got to use the people around you.
Well, that's the thing. People would be like, "Oh, you work at a gym?" And I'm like, if you only knew how that helped me and the way that it helped me,
Yeah. People judge. People don't get it. People don't get why you do some stuff. You just got to show them why.
Right.
Just like, I do. People will be questioning me all the time. But I just vibe, I just do my thing. I have
a
fun
lot of
with
times when people are questioning you, it's because what you're doing is forcing them to realize that they're not doing enough.
Ooh, that's a quote right there. Bang. There you go. Clip it, Chad. I love getting a little quote of the day. I was just gonna ask you, speaking of quotes, what's a quote that you live by?
The only thing keeping me going is not stopping. That's something that I've always told myself.
That was tough. That was a tough one. Do you have any like quotes written up on your wall or anything?
No, that one's just engraved in my brain. It's just seared right in there. That's why it came out so fast.
I like that. I know some people have like whiteboards and stuff, and
my mom has like "Live, Laugh, Love" on her wall.
Like every other
middle-aged woman.
Yep. The little signs. Usually it's like either this and like a little square. It's like wood, and it's up on the kitchen. Yeah.
I always bust my mom's balls about that. Then she proceeds to punch me.
Yeah.
My mom has a lot of rings. It hurts.
Oh man. Does she also have like one of those doormats?
Oh yeah, my mom is like super into cross stitch and stuff too. So
Yep.
she has a lot of cool stuff. My mom's very talented and very very outgoing. In fact, I get my outgoing personality from my mom
Same.
and my work ethic and determination from my dad. I mean, granted, my mom is also a very determined woman, but like the drive that I have to just kind of like push through the good and the bad, I get from my dad for sure.
Yeah, I love that. And we're over an hour now, but that's whatever. To end it off, if you're stranded on an island, all right, and you can only bring 5 things, what would it be?
5 things.
Yes.
Well, I definitely bring my wife because, I'm not going to be having fun with coconuts while I'm there. I would definitely bring a machete and a sharpening stone and a fire starter. Is that 4 things?
I think that's 4. Yeah.
And if I could bring anything, I would bring a lifetime supply of food. So then I'm on the island and I have all the food I need. Does that count as one thing?
Sure, that'll count. That'll count. Like last time I used goldfish. You know the little crackers, the goldfish crackers?
Oh, yeah.
Man, that's what I said last time. Oh man.
I guess I was thinking more survival versus like just fun things to bring.
Yeah, last time when we had Meebs on the podcast, he said something to like women, an Xbox, and a monitor. What else did he say? He might have said a net because he wanted to catch fish, and something else like that. But he was not surviving like 5 days.
He
But
wasn't
that's
even
whatever.
turning his Xbox on if he didn't bring a power supply.
Yeah, I know. He didn't think about that until I told him. But man, did he was quick with the women. He was quick with it. So, yeah, Meebs. But I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you having me here, and it's great to meet your community.
course.
Just know that if you're playing WAGMI Defense and you see "Oh the Hermanity," I'm gonna absolutely throttle you.
Oh,
Um,
trust
in
me.
no time flat.
No, trust me. See, I be talking junk and I don't even. I always be talking my junk, but nah. Even if I'm not good, it's all right though. It's all right.
That's the point. Like, it's never your fault when you lose either. The game glitched.
It glitched. Yeah, frames dropped. That's the worst. Even though I just built my new PC, frames dropped.
Yeah,
It's bad.
you
It's
must
bad.
not have installed your graphics card correctly, so
Yep.
frames dropped.
Oh man, drivers update. I forgot. Dang. Well, Scott, I appreciate you, and I'm gonna go, chill and stream for the next couple hours, and go sleep for
Sounds
school.
great.
I
I'm gonna take my
appreciate
wife out for some queso.
you. Ooh,
Yes.
that sounds fire. That sounds gas. Oh man,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
jealous.
That's what I'm about to do.
I'm jealous. Well, I appreciate you again, and this will be up on YouTube either tonight or tomorrow, like early, because I don't know if engagement will be better.
Yeah, dude. Send me your address and your MetaMask wallet so I can get you some stuff.
Of course, I appreciate you.
All right, brother. Hey, have a great night. Thanks for having me.